What else you got, Angel?
So in pop culture news, Taylor Swift, who is a huge pop star, lost the rights to all of her music up until her new album that's coming out now, which is kind of crazy because she actually called out. So she said that, and this is a quote, "All I could think about was the incessant manipulative bullying I've received at his hands for years." So she's calling this guy out. Apparently this guy who has bullied her and tried to ruin her career in the past, she claims, now owns her entire catalog. So that's...
Just to be clear, though, did she lose the rights to her music, or did someone else own the rights to her music?
Someone else owned them and sold to him.
She did not lose the rights to her music.
She never had them.
She sold the rights to her music.
Well, so
and then someone else
she came up,
sold.
This is my understanding.
Yes.
She was a nobody. She signed a contract.
She signed the rights to her music.
We will put you on, but we own everything.
Yes, to someone else.
And
then that someone else sold
I think there were
music
two sales,
catalog.
Yeah.
To a new someone else.
Yeah.
But it's not like she owned this music and it was stolen from her.
Correct.
The reason I think she was so upset was because she said that she asked the production company if she could buy them, and they refused to sell them to her. They said the only way that she could get the masters of her music was to re-sign with them and to make more music for their label, and that she would get one of her albums per every new album that she made. So she had to work for her, and then she couldn't buy it. And she refused, so they sold it.
Maybe she didn't have the money.
I heard that
he said.
I heard that they did.
The guy allegedly claimed he said she had every opportunity to buy this, and she said no. So who knows the he said, she said.
Yeah, I don't know. So she says I never got the chance to buy it.
He says they
said
did.
You did have the chance to buy it.
Yeah.
The thing I think is interesting is I don't know. There's a victim kind of feel to this, which I find interesting because you didn't have them stolen from you. The only reason you're rich and famous is because a label promoted you. And that's actually not true of like Macklemore.
Yeah.
Macklemore owns the rights to all his music. He did it a different way. So it's a weird thing because you signed this contract probably very excitedly saying, please make me rich and famous. And in exchange, yes, you can own my music. Then you get rich and famous and are upset that you don't own your music. It seems odd to me.
I can relate to both sides because I don't know how old she was, but I think of the decisions that I made when I was 17.
That's fair. I don't know how old she was. That's fair.
And I was told, go to college. And I said, okay, I'll sign away my future. Was
it a 10-year contract, though?
No, well, this contract, it was a 10-year contract. It said,
was it?
Here's what it was. You can pay over 10, 20, or 30 years for this
education. For her, I'm saying.
I don't know how long the contract was. And I'm sure she had no idea how to negotiate at that point in her life. So it's a weird thing where, on the one hand, you're nobody. You will likely, on average, continue to be nobody unless this person puts you on. And you have YouTube is out there. You can do that, right? That's available to you. It's a tough thing how much of somebody's future they're responsible for versus the label. What do they get? Yeah, I don't...
Well, it's also it's a classic case of I have no idea of the details. Maybe she's a horrible victim and maybe not. You know, there was that thing with the Kanye song where she was really upset. And then
the other thing is nothing has changed in her life except the person who owns the songs, who, by the way, is not going to be so stupid as to not make money on them and be like, no one will hear these songs.
No. He's going to try to make... Dude, he just spent $300 million. He's going to
try to put them everywhere.
Yeah.
And maybe she doesn't like that. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't want them as the NBA's theme song or whatever, but he's going to try to get it in front of everything.
He's just going to try to make more than $300 million because that's what it costs.
I guess that was her thing because she wasn't on Spotify, correct? She had wanted to keep her music out of, I think, certain streaming things.
I have no idea.
Don't know any of the specifics of it. It is interesting the deals that you can make with the future at a young age, and whether it's fair, I don't know.
Well, it's also an interesting example of another he said, she said, right? Because at first it got a lot of coverage that she didn't have a chance to buy her music.
And then Bieber came out and did an Instagram post.
He said,
I saw this.
Well, I didn't see the Bieber thing. What's the Bieber thing?
He just made a post that was essentially sarcastic about her saying that they were bullies. It was a photo of them all hanging out together and being like, yeah, Scooter the bully. Because he's super tight with that guy and thinks it's... And then he apologized and said, but you know that he's not a bully and it's inappropriate of you to say so. So,
yeah,
who knows?
Well, that's my point. It's just another example of let's put our pitchforks away a little bit. Yeah. Because no one has the facts of what actually happened.
Yeah, I do feel comfortable, and this is like, you'll be okay, Taylor. Scooter, you'll be okay. Everything's going to be okay.
Justin, you'll also be okay.
Justin, you're going to be okay too. Keep making music. Do what you do. And own it from this point out. Just put it on your YouTube channel. Don't ever sign another deal. pay for everything up. Pay out of your own pocket from now on.
Yeah.
To promote everything. So good lessons. We wisely never sold anything. We had a number of people try to buy our business, and in retrospect, certainly where we are, super glad that we didn't sell.
No, we had a couple of times where people wanted equity or ownership of things.
It's tempting when you don't have anything. There's this sense, I will say, and it's a survivorship bias, because here I am with a podcast and an audience and these people here, but it was so tempting to sell some of nothing. When the first person came in and wanted 10% of our ad revenue to be our multi-channel network, our MCN, it was like, oh, we're not making any ad rev. Please partner with us.
What is this, 10% of this?
When the matter, 10% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah. And all the big promises too, right?
Yep.
I'm going to put you in touch with this. I'm going to do this.
Yep.
The only reason we didn't do it was actually just because we heard that they don't deliver on their promises. It wasn't because we were protective.
Thank God for YouTube. I Googled MCN, and there wasn't a single positive thing to be said about MCN.
But it's not because we were like, oh, 10% is too precious. It was just because we decided it was going to be giving away 10% of nothing, but getting nothing in return.
Yes, and we were flattered. I remember feeling very flattered that at that stage of where we were, that a business wanted to work with us. That was so validating. And I do think I have a ton of YouTube friends who have fallen into these MCNs, and none of them, 0.0, are happy with their MCN. And I'm not saying this is Scooter Braun, there are what I would consider to be predatory industries and companies that prey on the naivete of up-and-coming talent. They sign all these contracts, provide very little because people don't know how to read a contract, and what they promise you in their email and what they promise you in the contract does not match.
Yeah. Well, we've seen that, right?
Oh, God, every time.
Especially what they say. People will
what you'll hear on the phone is crazy.
Here are the terms.
We're going to put you in touch with this guy, that guy. Listen, I've got Ellen's phone number. It doesn't say Ellen's phone number in the contract.
Yeah.
And so
But if anyone has Ellen DeGeneres' phone number, please leave a comment.
I'd like to have a short conversation with her. So I do, upon thinking of that, have some, I don't know what contract she originally signed, but I definitely can have some empathy for the young up-and-comer who has these massive businesses come in. Promise you
for
the
sure.
word.
We also had a little bit of an advantage because I'm super anal and I came from investment banking.
I'd assigned every one of these, to be clear.
No, I had to read contracts. That's fair.
I'd assigned every single one that was put in front of us from the first business deal we ever had, where some guy said,
I remember that. Some guy was like, wire me. Hey, please just wire me $5,000.
Like, Ben, what's your routing number? You're like, Charlie, we shouldn't do this. It's like, Ben, it was for editing of our parkour video.
Yep. And
he wanted payment wired to him up front, and he was not in the U.S.
Yep.
And I was in my account.
You were this close.
Ready to wire him all of my money, which at the time was like $2,000.
It's basically just the Saudi Arabian prince scam, right?
And I couldn't believe that you told me not to do that. I was shocked at how anal and untrusting you were. And what do I know? It's turned out to be the case that we have luckily not ever done that ever.
Yeah. People try to screw you.
Yeah.
That is an interesting in business. People think morality is different. I think there are people who would absolutely screw you in business and would not do something similar to a friend or someone that it wasn't a business thing. But in business, people think of it as it's a game, it's a zero sum, it's a this, and it's allowed. You're just allowed to try to screw people because it's business.
I think what the other thing is that these people, because I think of some of the people that tried to screw us, and I know some of their personal life, and they also screwed people in their personal lives. But I think what is happening is you think that you've entered into their tribe because you're speaking to them and you're friends and you're talking and you laugh and you assume, look, they might be unkind to the out group, but I'm part of the in group now. And what you don't realize is that you're not part of the in group. They have an in group that they will not screw that hard, but you're not in it. And doesn't matter all the laughs that you have on the phone and all that kind of stuff. That's oh man, I just remember all of these. Yeah, just sign this contract. It says it's 36 months and you get exclusivity off of every sponsorship deal that we do, including ones that you don't touch. Yeah, that's because, I mean, what a criminal thing. And we could have signed it and he would have had every right to enforce it for
legally,
through today. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know what the original contract was for Taylor Swift, but they can be gnarly.
Yeah, for sure. That's fair.
So,
that's totally fair.